All participants are muted.
Okay, I think we're in the house. Oh, snap.
Entry and exit tones are off.
Good morning, millionaires. Good morning, millionaires. I hope everybody's feeling good this morning. My name is Haziq Ali. I'm a revenue acceleration expert. I'm somebody who's dedicated to helping you build your self-esteem. I did this podcast yesterday, man, and we were just talking about how important self-esteem is and how self-esteem is almost like this thermostat, but it's like a thermostat for your life. And how many of you understand the power of self-esteem? How many of you understand that even though there's like a million, billion, trillion different experts? Yeah, what's up, Siobhan? Mr. Terry's in the house. Taisha. Good morning, Kerman. How many of you realize that even though there's a million, billion, trillion different books out there, my man Dennis Thicklin's in the house, that we're living in a time where it's more needed than ever. What's up, Allie? What's up, Allie? How you doing? How many of us recognize this? My man Allen up in here. Share the training. We about to get busy. My man Zave. Good morning, Lanice. KJ. Okay, let's get it. I really believe, yeah, it's super important. It's super important, Allie. It's super important. Desire made it in this morning. I love it. What's up, Michelle? So, we're a more vulnerable and anxious population than we've ever been. Can everybody dig that? I'm ready for you, Mimi. Let me know. If it feels like everybody around us is starving for confidence, starving for motivation, it's because they are. It's like there's a dream that we all have of being able to overcome all the fear, overcome all the self-imposed limits. And a lot of times we don't understand that it's all in our mind. I mean, when you're in this social media world where you're constantly being subjected to ideals, subjected to images you can't possibly live up to, it's pretty natural that you'll start to get this less than kind of vibe. And some of the stuff out there is good. I've studied this for a long time. So I can also, though, tell you that a lot of this stuff out there is crap. A lot of it is really misguided. A lot of it is borderline delusional. Check this out, y'all. People who lack self-confidence already know all the theory. They already know all these theoretical things that they can put into place because there are volumes and volumes of the information out there. What's up, Marie? What's up, Sheila? Let's get it. What's up? There are volumes of this stuff out there. But and you know, like I said in the little intro, if y'all saw what I put out last night when I was preparing for this, I ain't about to pretend like I know it all. But I will tell you that I've gone from like a people pleaser to somebody who understands where I am. I can tell you that for sure. I can tell you that I'm constantly seeking out opportunities to expand my comfort zone. I can tell you that. I tell you, I can go into a situation where I was full of anxiety and I can push through that so I can handle it with some level of competence, some level of ease, relatively speaking. I can tell you that I feel comfortable being honest. I had some deep conversations yesterday about honesty. People who I dealt with in the past, who I was not completely honest about certain situations, because a lie by omission, you know, that's still sort of like a lie. You know what I mean? There are times that I've been so private and even prideful that I didn't recognize that I was hurting people around me. You know, this is just this life that we're living. I can tell you now that rather than hide my views, I find out a way to express them. And at my best, I do it in a calm, diplomatic way. I tell you that I get now that self-love ain't the same as selfish. You hear me? I can tell you that. I can tell you that. And this is probably the most important part in this social media generation, y'all. I can tell you that it's been a long ass time, excuse my language, since I felt jealous of somebody else, since I felt envy. It's been a whole lot of years since I entertained the idea of wanting to be somebody else. So how did I get there? How did I rock this journey, y'all, from being this nice guy who did everything I could to avoid confrontation, right? Everything I could to avoid something that would provoke anxiety, right? To being where I am now. I ain't here to pretend like it was easy, but I do want to break it down to you that even though we always talk about going, you know, you got to learn to go within or you got to learn to go without. Millionaires, there are some ways that you can get confidence from the outside world. There are ways that you can build unbreakable confidence from the outside in, because you know how I always say environment is stronger than willpower. Can somebody give me that in the comments? And it's not just that I always say it. That's just one of these famous things that people say. Environment is stronger than willpower. Check it out. Environment ain't stronger than your thought power, though. Environment ain't stronger than your thought power. Today, we talking all about skill set. If you ready, y'all, somebody say environment ain't stronger than my thoughts and give me a share. Let's get it. Today, it's all about mindset. Somebody give it to me. Environment ain't stronger than my thoughts. Environment ain't stronger than my thoughts. Environment ain't stronger than my thoughts. Yeah, we just getting started, Desire. Watch this. Environment ain't stronger than my thoughts. I appreciate that, Shalonda. Environment ain't stronger than my thoughts. Environment ain't stronger than my thoughts. You hear me? Environment ain't stronger than my thoughts. All right, so I'm going to give you 9 of these. We don't have a lot of time this morning, so we're going to run through these. Luckily, you know, we loaded up on YouTube, right? We YouTube ready, baby. We're the YouTube gang. Give me a replay, gang, if you're just now watching. But if you're watching live with us, then that's beautiful, because now you get to participate in the affirmations when we're done. All right, so here's the first one I got for you. Identify your ultimate dream lifestyle. Identify your ultimate dream. What is your dream lifestyle? Because a real confidence drainer out here is not knowing where you're going in life. There is a real thing that can drain the hell out your confidence, and that's not knowing where you're going. So now you don't know how these dots are going to connect, right? But the great thing is you ain't even got to be sure about it. You just need to have a direction. Y'all ever heard this? Somebody give me in the somebody write this in the comments. Write this in your notes. Direction is way more important than speed. Direction is way more important than speed. So what I want to challenge you to do is take 30 minutes today to write down a descriptive, detailed paragraph or two about what your life would look like if you could wave a magic wand and just choose anything, right? A lot of my clients, a lot of my mentees, I'm going to give you 3 questions that a lot of times I give my mentees to use, right? This is going to allow you to write out these 2 paragraphs. Y'all ready? First, if you promise you're going to do this in the next 3 days, I'm going to give you 3 days. You know, I hope you do it today, right? And you can put in the comments whether you're going to do it today or in the next 3 days, right? If you commit to writing out these 2 paragraphs, let me see I commit in the comments. Let me see I commit in the comments, and then give me a share. Share it with an accountability partner and say, hold me accountable to this. I'm going to write out these 2 paragraphs in the next 3. If you're down for that, okay. Alan said today. I love it. That's what I'm talking about. Because see, the thing about today is yesterday when we said tomorrow, here we are. You know what I mean? Here we are. Okay. I see a few of us saying we're going to commit to it. I love it. All right, so I'm going to give you these questions that you can ask yourself. Yeah, that's the challenge, Shalonda. That's the challenge. I want you to get detailed, but it only has to be 2 paragraphs. Here are the 3 questions that I want you to write down. 1, what will you have? What will you be doing? That's question number 1. What will you have? What will you be doing? Right? Here's the second question. How would other people describe you? How would other people describe you? Okay, KJ. How would other people describe you? How would other people describe you, right? Number 3, what will you think about yourself? Boom, that's it. That's it. That's it. Listen, writing down the detailed answers to just these questions using emotional and descriptive language. Once you've done it, make sure you reread it regularly. I'm talking about twice a week. I'm talking about twice a day. I'm saying regularly, just to remind yourself constantly about why you're getting out the bed with power, why you're bounding out the bed instead of laying there like, oh my God, another day. This is going to increase your sense of purpose in life, millionaire. This is going to increase the reasons you have to live in a certain way, which is going to increase your confidence. Now, to actually achieve this is going to get even deeper, right? So if you still commit, give me an I commit and then a share. Let's go, Dr. Monet. Let's go. Money long. All right, here's the second one. Write down goals and strive to achieve them. Write down goals and strive to achieve them. I remember this study they did at Oxford University. Write down goals, y'all, and striving to achieve them. That's kind of coming from the outside world, right? It's coming from the outside world because when you're writing down these goals, they all have a physical manifestation out here. I remember there was a study they did at Oxford University. I can't remember the exact statistics, so don't get me started. But the researchers asked all the students in a class who had written down their goals, right? I can't remember the exact details, but it was something like about 3% of them did this. And when the researchers revisited the students again, 20 years later, right? The small group, right? The small group that had written down their goals were earning a combined income that was greater than the combined income of 97% of their classmates. Right? We millionaire minded around here, so I don't want you to miss the importance of this. There's a bunch of free resources out there on how to write goals. You know, I love our 90-day map. If you haven't ordered one, it's the beginning of the month. If you know you want to start next month writing down your goals, or if your last 90 days ran out, order you one of these today. There are a lot of free resources out there as well on how to write goals. This one called the Inspirational Lifestyle. But the general key that I recommend, millionaires, is that instead of writing outcome-based goals, like I'm going to get a promotion, try writing action-based goals that are under your control. So somebody give me that in the comments. Instead of outcome-based goals, write action-based goals. This is important. This is important. Instead of outcome-based goals, which you can't really control, I want you to write action-based goals. So not so much I will get a promotion. That's dependent on somebody else. But you can say, I will finish this course. You can say, I will make this many phone calls a day for my business. You get what I'm saying? By making sure the goals are under your control, your confidence ain't subject to luck. Your confidence ain't subject to the whims of somebody else. Your confidence ain't subject to happenstance, because now you're judging your day by the seeds you plant instead of by the harvest you reap. Is that making sense to somebody out there? If you're ready for number 3, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Somebody give it to me. Somebody give it to me. Action-based goals are greater than outcome-based goals. Action-based goals, Zave. That's what I'm talking about. Action-based goals. Here's number 3. Here's number 3. Action-based goals. That's a fact. Having your goals under your control. Yeah, Mark, that's a goal. That's an action-based goals. Let's go, Shalonda. Here's the third one I got for you. Dang, I got to get through like 9 of these. I promised y'all 9 of these, and we only on number 3. So I'm going to speed this up. The third one is reading self-development books by successful entrepreneurs. Reading self-development books and listening to self-development podcasts from successful entrepreneurs. There are way too many trash self-development books out there. So I'm a big fan of reading the memoirs of famous entrepreneurs. I'm a big fan of, like, you know, people like Richard Branson, people like Steve Jobs, because you're getting their mindset. People like, you know, if Richard Branson is a whole billionaire out here, probably a pretty reliable source of information. Or if I'm listening to an interview on YouTube with a cat who's a multi-billionaire, like this is this cat Tillman Fertitta. Man, the jewels he was dropping. It's only like a 30-minute interview, but the way he was rocking was just crazy. So while you're working out, while you're doing your walk around the block, you know what I mean? I suggest you throw something on from somebody who's actually been there, done that, and gotten a t-shirt, instead of somebody who's just trying something out, right? Some of these people are making money by selling their book. That's different, y'all. That's different. So action-based goals, and then also read books from successful entrepreneurs. Read books from successful entrepreneurs. Here's number 4. Learning how to manage your state of mind. Learning how to manage your state of mind. Most of the time, the reason you feel anxious or nervous about a situation you're about to go into is because you're in the wrong mindset. Imagine if you've been studying accounting for 3 straight hours without interruption, then all of a sudden they drag you to a party. You feel anxiety. Even though going to a party is not an unusual situation, you feel anxiety. What's going on? Your brain was in a studying state, which means you're secluded, which means you're quiet, which means you're kind of antisocial, to be honest. You're focused, right? But then you're thrown into a situation where now you got to be extroverted. You got to be talkative. You got to be social. This is an uncomfortable imbalance for anybody. So what's the solution? Taking baby steps. When you realize you're feeling anxiety, millionaire, about this upcoming situation, when you start to feel that nervous, that trepidation, you suspect that it's because of being in the wrong state, try to figure out some in-between steps you can take. Don't just throw yourself in with no prep. So using the example I just now gave you, right? Instead of going straight to the party, you could jump on the phone with some close friends, right? Next, maybe you have a little pregame session. Maybe you have a couple drinks at the house, right? With just a couple people. That way, by the time you get to the party, your state has gone from withdrawn to outgoing, but you ramp that thing up. You get what I mean? Sometimes we got to get in a state of mind. Somebody say, manage my state of mind. Number 4 is learning how to manage your state of mind. Here's number 5. You got to understand a balance between learning, mentoring, and action. You hear me? Learning, mentoring. One of the biggest barriers to success that I've noticed amongst my students, whether you're talking about the Kaizen Academy or Millionaire Minded in general, is too much thinking and not enough doing. Too much thinking and not enough doing. Too much thinking and not enough doing. Man, don't tell me it's Jaylen's birthday. Don't do me like that. What's up, Jaylen? So we got to understand the difference, the balance. As a general rule, y'all, for every hour you spend reading or watching videos, which we call passive learning, you're going to benefit a lot more by complementing this with 2 hours of mentoring or coaching, and in 7 hours of practicing it, putting it to real life work. They call that the 10-20-70 rule, right? So if you spend 10% of your time actually reading or watching the videos, aka passive learning, letting it just come to you, and then you spend 20% of your time kind of getting mentoring, getting practical steps that are going to help you apply this knowledge, and then 70% trying it out, millionaires, you on your way. That's why I'm giving you these 9 ways from the outside in. That's why we talk about from the outside in, because building confidence goes way beyond. Now, it's a start learning because a lot of our fear comes from lack of knowledge. We don't know what's around that corner, so we get nervous, right? So that's a big part of it. I'm not minimizing that. But what I do want you to understand is that evidence is always going to be the loudest voice. Evidence is where you're really going to get your power from, because we've got the current programs in our head due to personal experiences, amongst other things. So therefore, we can change the way we feel due to personal experiences. We can change the way we taking our team, taking our staff, and making them experience things on a personal level changes the programs in their head. It's the same thing with you. Taking action, y'all. So you start seeing the results for yourself. You start seeing the positive changes for yourself. Somebody give it to me in the comments and then give me a share. The 10-20-70 rule. The 10-20-70 rule. Let's go, Simone. The 10-20-70 rule. Let's go. Yes, evidence, B. Evidence. The 10-20-70 rule. The 10-20-70 rule. Give it to me. Give it to me. Let me make sure you see it. The 10-20-70 rule. Here's number 6. Approaching strangers. This is the 9th way to build this confidence from the outside in. Approaching strangers. This is one of the scariest things for people to do. Y'all remember last year, I had you do this experiment where you went outside with 2 wrong shoes on. The right foot didn't match the left foot. Y'all remember this? How many of y'all participated in that? Is Tammy in the house? I remember Tammy had a whole life-changing experience of that. Tammy will never be the same, because what happened when you did that was you understood that, like, almost like that hangover joint, but did you die? You know what I mean? But did you die? Check it out. This is another one of them kind of things. Approaching strangers can be one of the scariest things for people to do. Bunch of people can't do it when they're sober, right? Never mind cold calling or some kind of sales exercise, but doing this is a super powerful way to build confidence, because now you're starting to get that experience that you're not going to die. They ain't going to beat you up because you speak to them. And you know, for all my single fellas, all my single ladies out there, even approaching strangers with the intention of kindling a potential romance, it can be the scariest thing in the world. But if you can get yourself to do this sober, if you can get yourself to do this in broad daylight, if you can get yourself to do this daily, it makes everything else seem less scary. You can learn to love rejection as the learning and feedback experience that it really is. Yeah, I said it. You can learn to love rejection. You can learn to love rejection. Somebody give me that in the comments. I can learn to love rejection. What a crazy sentence. But I ain't lying to you. Somebody give it to me. I can learn to love rejection. We talking about unbreakable confidence, y'all. So let me keep it real with you. Am I in the wrong place to be real? I can learn to love rejection. The Snow Angel Challenge. I can learn to love rejection. Let them know, Queen. I can learn to love rejection. And since we're talking about Snow Angel challenges and 2 wrong shoe challenges, that brings us to number 7, right? I can learn to love rejection is number 6, but here's number 7. Here's number 7. I just want you to learn yourself, know thyself, right? It's the beginning of all knowledge. So here's number 7. Trying new things regularly. Trying new things regularly. When's the last time you did something for the first time? Somebody give me that in the comments. When's the last time I did something for the first time? When's the last time I did something for the first time? Check it out, y'all. We can try new things regularly. Having a routine can kill your creativity. You ever notice that routine can turn into a rut? Routine can make your life boring. Routine can make your life boring. You know what the opposite of happiness is, y'all? Boredom. Boredom. Yesterday, we were talking about this quote from Howard Thurman, who was like Martin Luther King's mentor, one of his mentors. He was like, don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come, ask what sets you on fire. Because what the world needs is more people who are on fire. It's important to seek out new adventures. It's important to keep trying new things on a regular basis because it can boost your confidence. And it can do it in 2 different ways. The first way is because you're learning this range of skills you were never aware of, and you're having these varied experiences. What starts to happen is you start to build up transferable skills. You start to build up abilities that transfer to other things. Over time, less situations seem totally foreign to you because you've done something similar to that before. You hear me? You hear me? You've done something similar to that before. You hear me? What I'm saying is, I used to be real, scared of kind of like going out here and dealing with social situations. I really felt like, you know what I mean? I had experiences when I was younger that kind of taught me that, there's pain behind certain of these doors, right? But the more I got into sales, the more I got into entrepreneurship, and I just dove in. You know how you can teach a baby to swim by just throwing it in a pool? What happens is, because I was able to combine my love of speaking in a presentation format, because I had a radio show when I was a little kid, like back in DC. I had this radio show called Can You Imagine? And I remember one time the mayor was supposed to show up. He had promised me he was coming, and he didn't show up. But the support that came from the audience and whatnot was so like overwhelming that it ended up boosting my confidence instead of crushing it, right? So when I was able to combine that with the fact that, like, for instance, I love helping people, the combination of those 2 things made entrepreneurship and made sales way less scary. I knew that, I had some talent for what, they used to call what certain people would call the gift of gab. And then I knew I loved helping people. And because I did both of those and I was able to combine my experience doing both of those, it made it less scary. So that's the first way that it helps you, right? You start to, when you're trying new things regularly, you start to find that these skills are transferable. But the second thing is this, y'all. You'll eventually find that those things that bring you the most pleasure and satisfaction have been right there in front of you the whole time. A lot of times we don't know what we like. We just like what we know. Confidence is sometimes described as conscious competence. Y'all ever heard me talk about the learning scale, where you start off unconscious, incompetent, you don't know what you don't know. Then you become conscious incompetent, where now you're starting to get a feel for what it is you don't know. But then you become conscious competent, where it's like, man, I kind of get what I'm doing right here. Now, soon you become unconscious competent, where you got that thing on autopilot. But the way you get there is trying new experiences. Here's number 8. Here's number 8. Here's number 8. Surrounding yourself with successful people. Surrounding yourself with successful people. This is the number 8 way to build confidence from the inside out. Successful people always say, how can we do this? Tell me if I'm lying, right? Successful people always say, how can we do this? Unsuccessful people generally say, why should we do this? Right? Successful people are like, how can we do this? How can we do this? The unsuccessful generally say, why should we? Right? Who do you spend the most of your life with? What kind of people do you spend most of your time with? Because until you develop a strong inner core of this power source, right, that other people can't touch, you got to surround yourself with can-do people in order to feed on their confidence. People who show you that anything is possible through the way they live their life. Before you know it, man, you'll start believing it, right? You'll start believing you're capable of anything. Man, you keep tuning into these calls, I'm going to trick you into thinking you can do anything. You hear me? Because you cannot hear certain people's stories and not still feel the same. There's no way that I can sit here and tell you that I was homeless a few years ago and now I have a multi-million-dollar net worth and you still feel the same about your own limitations. There's no way you can sit here and hear me tell you that I have no college degree, I have no special skills that you can't get out a book or something, right? And get from just trying new things, just deciding you're going to stand out, deciding you're going to be a straight up bull. I was talking about on a podcast yesterday. Problem with this world is everybody be doing just enough. We still got a slavery mentality. Bob Marley, when he was quoting Haile Selassie, he was talking about how you got to emancipate yourself from mental slavery because none but ourselves can free our minds. Slavery was about working for just enough, not working for free. And so what we do today is we do just enough to keep from getting fired, and they pay us just enough to keep us from quitting. You got to get out that just enough thing and give something extra. It's so easy to stand out in a world where everybody else is just stuck on doing just enough. But listen to me. Do you even believe that's possible for you? Here's the last one I got for you, man, because we out of time. We out of time. Number 9, y'all. Number 9. Check it out. You got to make a conscious effort to stop caring about other people's opinions of you. I'm talking about even your significant other. I'm talking about even your mother. I'm talking about even your best friends. You have to make a conscious effort to stop giving a damn so much. This is the biggest lesson. This is the biggest lesson I ever learned. This is the biggest lesson I ever learned, probably, when we talking about confidence. I'm trying to tell you, man, that at the end of the day, the only person I should compare myself to is myself. Ain't nothing to be gained from comparing myself to other people or trying to live up to other people's expectations. And check it out. If I'm going to compare myself, I'm not going to compare myself to their results. I'm going to compare my process to their process. You hear me? I'm going to compare my process to their process. It's affirmation time. I ain't saying you shouldn't compete with other people. Sometimes that could light a fire under you, right? That can be a great motivator. But your results and progress are two different things, right? And if you're going to measure your results and or your progress, what you need to do is measure it against your past version of yourself, right? You should realize that you're only in a battle with you. And if you're going to compare yourself to somebody else, compare yourself to the blood, sweat, and tears they went through. Don't compare your car to theirs. Compare what you did to get the car you driving to what they did to get the car they driving. Now some light bulbs might click on. Like, damn, you mean to tell me I can't watch Netflix? I can't Netflix my way into a net worth? Right? It's affirmation time, y'all. Y'all ready? There's a million other things, but that's all I got for you this morning. It's 8 o'clock. It's time to get it. If your phone line tries to charge you to call in, then just text message call me to the same number. I want you to watch this again. I want you to take action. Leave it in the comments if you got a way to build confidence that we left out. I would love to hear from you. Leave it in the comments if you have a way that you like to build confidence that we left out. Leave it in the comments a little bit later, y'all. That's my challenge to you. Yeah, you can't Netflix your way into a high net worth. All right, it's affirmation time, y'all. Let's get it. Repeat after me. We start with the two most powerful words in the whole English language. Of course, I'm talking about I am, right? I am. You know, whatever you say after I am is a command to the universe. It's a command to the, listen, you better talk, you better say what you want, because there's somebody very important listening. That's yourself. You hear me? I am. All right, let's get it. Let's get it. I am so happy.